Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogue, coming to you from Lake Whatcom, Washington. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you. I ended up entering the live stream weird on Substack, so if you didn't see it, and you want to be live with me, join the Zoom. You can find it at hopejohnson.org. By the way, hopejohnson.org has been updated so it's easier to find all my free resources right from the home page. So have fun with that. Hooray. Oh, yay. So, apparently, we're in the year of the fire horse. And all these things are just symbolic. They kind of all go together. The illusion always seeks to explain what seems to be going on in the consciousness. So you can even say that the consciousness itself arises and projects the constellations that we think we see, right? And speaking of constellations that we think we see, there's this ongoing debate about whether there's a flat Earth and whether there's a round Earth floating around in space, right? So it came to my attention that in the Bible, it actually talks about a firmament, like God placing a firmament over the earth that's impenetrable. So then I'm like, what if no one's ever really been to space? They're just kidding. They've done all these, I know that's what this conspiracy theories are saying too, that, what if no one's even been to space? And, here's the thing. And like, if you want to know a really clean interpretation, a really clean way to look at all of this is that the world is a projection. So Earth itself, in whatever way it seems to be to you, that's it. Basically, if you were to look at the earth without, let's say, guilt in your mind, you wouldn't see form. There wouldn't be form. So whatever is being presented to you, it's just that's Earth for you. That's what Earth is for you. And if you make it round or make it flat, either one of those makes it into something. Makes the earth into something. It's not anything. It actually doesn't have a form. It actually does not. And then the question of aliens, that's been coming to mind too. It's like, and with that, I've heard about aliens living under the ground and these different, and one man was talking about having seen an alien from under the ground, or not even just one, but having been like working with them, and just like his demeanor and the way he felt, he was like, so like, that dude went through that, whatever that was. That dude went through that. So it's not a matter of are they real and are they not real. It's like, look, at anything can arise in an illusory perception. We've been keeping it kind of like closed in this way of where we just perceive ourselves as bodies with our little lives, going through our little lives, doing our things from day to day, going nowhere really. Well, the way A Course in Miracles puts it is every path in the dream leads to death. That's how A Course in Miracles puts it. Every path that we dream of just leads to death. Now, here's the thing about thought patterns too. Every thought pattern about the world only leads to death as well. So if you take, like, let's take the flat Earth, round Earth example, right? So you could take anything. You could even take A Course in Miracles, and then you make that your position that you're holding really strongly to. That's where you're using that thing to keep on propping up the world, making it solid in your view. Look, every time you try to convince another person that the world is this way or is that way, you make the world for yourself, right? So what I like to do is like watch what I'm saying, what I'm making real, right? A lot of the times when people are angry and they don't realize and they think they're seeing some guilt in another person, and they try to point out that guilt in another person and kind of like make that person see that they're guilty. What's going on is needing to escape, needing to get away from that. It's really all the same kind of thing. I mean, really, to say the earth is anything other than our projection is to make it solid, make it have meaning in a worldly way. Okay. So it's like the invitation is to go beyond the facade, what's painted on top of the world, because it's just your psyche, right? So you're just like releasing the world from the things you made of it, period. Just keeping on releasing. And that comes up in a lot of different ways. Like, I've seen it come up in my mind. One cute funny thought, I shared this on ACIM deep dive too. A thought crossed my mind. Wow, I have not been getting hugged. Like, I've been staying by myself, not been getting any hugs, right? And the ego, I see it immediately try to make it mean something, like it's gonna be, I can't feel why do I need a hug? The ego's gonna say, there's scientific evidence that says, you need all these hugs and all this other stuff. So I can notice that's a draw on the energy. It's making something in the perception into something. And look, isn't the world just full of ideas that say that this is the reason for your feeling upset? No. The upset feeling is just something that's arising and passing, and then it wants to make some meaning about it. It wants to make something mean something. So, it's like these thoughts really, they need to be interrupted midstream. Okay. And that's not to make anyone feel bad or wrong for not interrupting them midstream, right? It's like you really want to use everything gently, all teachings gently with yourself, right? Because you are pure innocence. You're not something that learns through pain, let's say. You don't have to learn through pain, okay? And it's not, and that's the thing about projecting a guilty consciousness on yourself, is that it makes it difficult for you to learn because you're harboring the pain instead of opening up. See what I mean? So you want to get to the point where you see these thoughts that are about the world midstream. Don't let them complete. They do an arc. They do like an arc. Just don't let them complete. See, it's that the mind is unwatched for the most part, that just below the perceptual level, but still in consciousness, these thoughts are just allowed to persist and automatically be believed. But when you make it a point to look at them instead of pursue them. I'm going to give you an example of the difference between looking at a thought as a meaningless thought or pursuing the meaningless thought. Okay. So take the thought that I have a headache because I don't get enough hugs, for instance. Um, Pursuing the thought would be letting that thought form complete and then going kind of almost like, tell me more. Almost like, how do we fix this? Or going into, oh, poor me. This is so sad. That's how you pursue it. There's lots of ways you could take it in pursuit. Okay. So the not pursuing it is noticing, oh, that doesn't mean anything. Right there, it just cuts it off. And when you're first starting to see this way, it may be that the thought is very persistent and be pulling on your energy, right? It feels like you can't just leave it. It reminds me of kind of like when people are training a dog, right? They ever train a dog and you train them to leave it, you'll leave it. And the dog's like, I really want it. Really want that. You're like, leave it, and you keep on training the dog that way. This is kind of like what you're doing with your mind. It is. The mind's like, I really want it though. This is important. This means something. The thought is telling me a reason why I have this emotional or physical pain or stuckness or whatever I seem to be going through in the moment. The thing to see is these moments are passing. It's a passing moment telling us that something in it is wrong. Something in it needs to be corrected. And when you just don't let that thought complete in your consciousness, you don't pursue it, you don't try to massage it, you don't try to argue with it. You're just like, that's a meaningless thought because nothing is wrong. Right? It's interesting having a conversation with someone who's projecting that something is wrong with me, and I got to have some experience like that lately because I posted on Facebook something that was super triggering apparently for a lot of people. Um, and it was also super awesome for a lot of people, once they saw what I was talking about. It had a hook in it, it's like it started out with dear men, so that's already a hook, right? And it's we don't care about apologies, excuses, and such anymore, And so then it went on to talk about, like, hey, we're not playing that kind of dynamic anymore where we think we are dependent on you. So therefore, we're not accepting these things. And here's what's great. Here's also what changed is that we're also not playing these kinds of games with you that we used to be playing with you. And I had some really tuned in men, definitely tuned in to see what's going on, and there, and say, "Dear women, it's about time." And it's like, oh, so sweet. But for the most part, yeah, for the most part, a lot of people had fun with it. A lot of people had a great time. Um, there was probably a percentage, a very loud percentage, a lot of conversations going on and on, people taking it in a whole other direction. And you know what I noticed? What was really fun to notice is that I don't mind. I don't mind being used for shock value. And I've definitely received some criticism for that. And the other thing about it is, I also don't mind criticism. Um, in listening to what I'm guided to do at the time I'm guided to do it, it's like there's really no question. There's really no question. It's like, yes, the answer is, oh, I'm being used for that. And then it's invigorating. You know, there ends up being a lot of comments, a lot of people commenting. And, a few people want to maintain their point of view. Some of them, I mean, I had one come on and go, judge much. And then we started having a little conversation. He goes, oh, I have to apologize. I never read past the hook. you know, some people just coming back and being real sweet, but a few of them want to hold their position that I know what it's about. I know it's about division. I know it's about separation. And I know see, it's like, yes, this framework that we have agreed to, all of us, okay, that we have agreed to is framework that involves men and women in a framework, okay? And in that framework that involves men and women, we have agreed and replayed many times these dynamics within a framework to where they just roll automatically. So there seems to be great resistance in some, not in all, but in a lot. At first it's like, whoa, you know, because of the dynamic that's being shown. It's like once you're aware, women from a woman's side, once you're aware that you do not need a man because you are sustained by the love of God, you're not playing these underlying dynamics. I am speaking from experience and also just from observation of people. And people have also shared with me, right? How many people have you heard that have to stay in a relationship for financial reasons? The ones who admit to it. See, a lot of the times this is playing a lot more subtly. So they don't even say that even to themselves, but the pattern is beneath the surface still playing. Okay. And it's not about like we need to get away from these guys or we need to change these guys or anything like that. It's more of a declaration of a shift that I've seen that's already occurred. And everyone is catching on to it. It's like the women have been waking up for a while. I've noticed them being very angry all over. One of the comments was, this sounds like a hurt person. I'm like, yes, it is, but definitely I have gone through hurt and it's bringing this up so we can see it. And this is how it feels. This is how it is in the body's energy field. Okay. We feel these things. Okay. So there's defensive mechanisms against seeing these patterns. There's some strong defensive mechanisms. And when I write about it in a soft way where it doesn't make a hook, it doesn't get that much play. And not because I'm trying to get something out of it. It's not like that. I'm noticing that the message is not it's not landing, right? Now, with this hook, here's what I'm noticing. It's got like about 100 times more traction than a regular post. And even though there's some people misinterpreting it, it also reaches and lands. And it's kind of like, aha, when that lands in your mind, when you're realizing, oh my goodness, we've been playing this dynamic. Now I want to tell you, like when this dynamic of needing a man collapses from the male point of view, they're not going to feel under so much obligation because this being sustained by the love of God, when we're recognizing it within ourselves, woman, man, whatever, it supports everyone. See? So you take this dynamic where you've got the masculine feeling burdened like they have to take care of this woman who feels like she's dependent. And this pattern collapses there's also, it also has to do with earning, the idea of having to earn a living. One of the really fun uh exchanges that I had with one woman was like, and she wanted to add to it that I am not gonna entertain any guy who doesn't pay. To me, they should earn, and I heard should earn a place in my heart, right? So just communicating, opening up channels to communicate, like about earning. It's like when once you see that you're fully sustained by the love of God, you're not even thinking in terms of any man earning anything with you. See, that's old way too. That's old programming. All earning kind of things is programming. When it comes to relating, looking at it like this, no one has to earn anything with you. It's just a matter of how does this feel to me? Do I like it? Is this a dynamic that I enjoy? Is this a dynamic that I want to pursue with someone? See, it's not like you suck. I know a lot of the times when I do my posts too, there's going to be a percentage of people that are going to be looking at it like, yeah, you suck. Yeah, man, you guys suck. You better step up, you fuckers. But yeah, actually, I didn't see too much of that. If you look at the comment section of the post, I may have seen one woman go off like that, but for the most part, it's just been really sweet. It's been really sweet. Yeah, it's like even when people start out pissed, a lot of the times they come around. A few of them don't. But they don't have to. And then we got my daughter. Oh my gosh. Right before I came on here, as I was queuing up, I noticed my daughter, Akea, goes on one of the comments. I made a comment back to someone because they just projected their whole narrative right over my post and started talking about it. And I just made a reply about, you just projected your narrative over my post. That's not anything that I mean. And my daughter, she just comes on and goes, "Bam, bitch." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness." It's just like all uh it's all play. It's all play. It's like none of it really touches you, changes you. Nothing can alter the truth of who you are. But everything, no matter what it is, can be used for uncovering, because that's what it needs to be, is uncovering. That's what has to happen, the truth of who you are. That's all it is. That's all it is. And when someone's really committed to a mindset that's dualistic, um, they look at that as insincere, especially on writing, they'll look at it as being insincere and stuff like that. Uh, it's not the same as like talking with someone in person. And what I see is that's because the framework is completely different. You know, I'm just sharing from what it is that I feel, and the framework that they're coming from is that it's supposed to be a certain way. There must be a strategy. What are they trying to get? Um, once your framework changes to the point where you don't operate from ego, you don't think in terms of what can I get or not get out of it. You think in terms of what's helpful. You just go, what, show me what's helpful. And the way I see what's helpful is through joy. If it feels joyful, it feels light energy, playful, um, I don't have any problems putting boundaries up, but they're not my boundaries. I don't really even put them up. They just arise naturally to protect my joy. See, my mind is just tuned to allowing as much joy as possible to flow into it and through it, right? So boundaries are just natural. They naturally arise to protect the joy. I don't have to protect the joy, right? So even the boundaries are an expression of the psyche. Everything that is perceived, everything that is expressed, it's an expression of our own psyche. Okay, that includes all worldly things, anything we perceive in the world, all pain, war, political stuff. They're poisoning the food, all that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying eat their food. I'm saying if you do find yourself eating their food, that's your opportunity if there's an idea that this food can do harm to your body. See? And don't tempt the ego. Go, oh well, I'm I'm sure it doesn't hurt my body while you're still holding a belief. That belief needs to get undone. And like I said, it gets undone not through pain, not through pain. Pain has no purpose. That was the title of one of my recent ACIM deep dives. Yeah, I posted it recently. So, oh, that's right. I'm just coming back after a week off. And when I left, I was going on a trip. I was going to Mississippi. Well, to make the long story short, I never got to Mississippi. uh, and yeah, so here's the story. The day before I was going to leave, I was going to leave at like 1 in the morning. And so it was the day before that, 1 in the morning day. Uh, it occurred to me, I don't feel like I'm going to Mississippi. You know how you like when you feel like you're going somewhere? I'm like, I do not feel like I'm going to Mississippi. All right, I'm just gonna wait to pack until tomorrow. I didn't start doing any packing, right? Uh, and then in the morning, I get a text from the man who bought my ticket, and I was going to meet in Mississippi. And he said he had his uncle, who he's really close with, had an emergency and he has to go to that. He has to go be with his uncle. He said he's not going to be going to his thing and he canceled my ticket. And I go, oh, okay. Okay, well, yeah, I kind of already knew. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's like, you should get flight credits. And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I called the airline, and sure enough, I got some flight credit. Uh, so I was just like, oh wow, thank you very much. It's so sweet of you. It's like I spent a month talking with him, maybe about 3 times a week, also texting, and it was just super sweet. And then whatever went on, I don't know if his uncle really had or he just got scared or what the situation was, but he was just super sweet about it. And then that was the end of that. And I gotta tell you, I was just like, ah, I'm not going. I was just so happy to stay here on the lake. I even didn't go out. I didn't even go to my therapies. I just stayed here and had some block therapy. Um, had lots of yoga nidra, cooked some food, hung out on my patio. The weather's been pretty sweet. And I was just like noticing, wow, it's like all these moments of interaction with each other, they're just so sweet and they're so fleeting. We have no guarantee that anything else past the moment is going to happen. And I just feel that so sweetly because noticing within myself that I don't mind if things cancel. I don't mind just staying and being where I am, you know. I'm happy with that. Um, it's an unfolding for me. It's energetic for me. And the more love that I allow for myself to feel within myself, the more I don't need anything from outside. That doesn't mean that I don't relate. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't like hire a man or have a man as a friend and have him do some stuff around my house that only men can do. See, this need is in a is in a energetic way, kind of in a way we play into dynamics, the way we strategize, you know. It's like I wouldn't be as nice to this person, but I'm gonna be nice to him because I need my gutters cleaned or something like that. You know, these ways of relating, they hurt our mind. So when we see we don't really need anything, everything's given. This man, this lovely man who has come to sweep my patios, he's given. I don't need him. See? So then we relate authentically. We relate from truth. We don't relate from trying to get something. Another fun experience. Another guy, different guy, not the one I was going to go to Mississippi with. You guys know I was on Facebook dating, so I made a lot of connections. And there, you know, there's a few that I kept that were just really sweet. And at one point, he was going to come over. He got off his boat. He usually stays on a boat, big boat where he works. Pretty interesting. But he's coming off of his boat. He's sending me a picture. He's on his way back to land. And we've been planning for, I don't know how long for him to come and hang out and we'll go dancing and stuff like that. He only lives like an hour away. So he planned with me to meet. And then that same day, I was going over to the spot and I rang him up and I said, "Hey, are you coming? Because I'm going to book another appointment if you're not coming." And he said, "I'm coming today. I'm going to call you back in whatever." Well, anyways, I never heard from him again that weekend. So I, so I just had my spa appointments that weekend. It was super sweet. And then the next weekend, he said, "I'm ready to come over now." And I'm like, uh-uh, no, no, that does not feel good. And, you know, I ended up having a conversation with him over the phone because he just kept on texting me, you know. And so I just go, I'm just going to call him and love him up and let him know I'm not interested anymore. So I called him up and it was just really sweet. He's like, "I know I have some apologies and some explaining to do." And I go, "No, no, no, you don't have anything like that. Not with me." I go, "I'm just not interested." He's like, "What?" I go, yeah, yeah, it's just, you know, I'm not interested in that kind of dynamic. I mean, I go, it would be one thing if the anchor from the boat hit you on the head and you were in a coma. And then you couldn't call me. But I know that was not the case. I could already tell from the messages he sent me on WhatsApp. So, and "Oh man, I feel super sorry for myself." He goes, I screwed up." And I was like, I wouldn't look at it like that way though, you know? It's like you don't really screw up. You see how you want to be. You know, you recognize, you just see how things go. You go, oh, okay. If I ghost someone on meeting up with them, they might not be interested in me anymore. You know, it's like that's just that he's like, "Yeah, I see that. Yeah. I did have my phone on me." I could have sent a text. I could have called. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, you couldn't. you know, because it just wasn't there for you like that, you know. And it's not, this isn't something that is like taught to just want to communicate, want to take care in that way. It's something that you recognize, oh, this is what feels good. And and through our relating, we learn, we see, we recognize, we discover, however you want to put it, what feels good. And I've, for myself, have already discovered that it never feels good to pursue a relationship that starts out the first date ghosting. Does not feel good. So if we all just pay attention to what feels good, and not, it's not about judgment, you know, it's like, hey, I bet you there are women who, in fact, I know there are women who don't mind that at all. So you hang out with them. And I'm noticing, man, I don't even need a hug, I notice, you know. It's like that thought that arose that pretended like I needed a hug. Really, it affirmed in my mind that I don't need anything. I don't even need a hug. I don't even need human interaction. I could have, lots of times I can go somewhere. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, I can go dancing, I can go do art, I can go do all this different stuff. I'm just being called to solitude. And so things will pop up, and it's like, wow, it's like, I don't even need, and it was programmed into me to think that I need a man. I would always go to my husband, you know, even when he didn't understand me or whatever, we were always sweet to each other. And I would always go and just get that nice big hug and like, ah. So, you know, and I haven't been without hugs for at least, I don't know, I think this lifetime, I would say. I think it would be this lifetime. This is probably the longest I've ever gone without hugs in my whole lifetime. And experiences like this, what I see is experiences like this show me that I have no needs. Yeah. So after that, I found myself humming and noticing how, wow, that's interesting, just humming. It came across my Facebook feed. Someone was doing, you guys, I'm messing with my hair because it's like, those of you on video, I changed the part from one side to the other. And it's like really weird. But I'm going with it. For how long? I don't know. Oh, forgot where I was. Oh. Mm. Yeah, seeing past what the world is telling us it should be and going, how does this feel? What is this? What is this for me? What am I making of this? And when you see what you're making of it, you're like, I don't have to do that. I can just keep on relaxing and keep on allowing myself to know more. So, so like I was saying about the humming, something came across my Facebook feed about how humming specifically vibrates in the skull. I'm like, interesting. So then the next thing you know, I find myself just humming all day long, and whoa, it's kind of psychedelic. It's like, oh, that's cool. Um, it's like way more. I don't know what the word is. The vibrational frequency of that energy is like a way light. It's like encouraging things to liquefy. And like uh we are, you could say, projecting a body that's made mostly of water. That's like what the measurements say. But it's like everything that even seems solid, it's really more like liquid. So all the solid that it manifests, that can return to its liquid, which is closer to light. See, it's like, because it's just getting less and less solid. So the solid bodies that we see, that our eyes rest on, you can say we don't really see them, we perceive them. We perceive these bodies. So these solid bodies, they're formed in layers, and I've seen this in a vision on how our mind is actually building on layers to manifest a body. So when it returns to more liquidy, and it's liquid in your perception. It's all in your perception. You know, if you look at it like more like a liquid form, that might be an easier move than seeing it more like a light body, which is what you could say that's closer, because it's still a word, it's still in the illusion. That's why I can't say it is who you are, a light body, right? But it's way closer to the truth of who you are to say that you're a light body. And this liquefying is really like a release of the world. It's a release of the tension that we put on ourselves. When I see something and there's a certain light, kind of like a light bulb goes on, like this. I think it was a video. Yeah, it was a video. This video on Facebook about humming. It's like all of a sudden I'll recognize, oh my gosh, that's just given to me. I see it's given to me because I accepted that I don't need anything. And then how the givens just arise, that's the abundance. That's the abundance right there. It's like there's a sense of, in my case, a sense of a headache. And then the thought that the headache is there because I'm not getting hugged. That seems reasonable too, right? In the world. Um, but it can't be reasonable because I can't be really affected by things in the dream. So I'm recognizing, and I'm not letting that thought that there's a cause for my headache in the world manifest, and then something is shown to me that's, oh, it's like really joyful and feels really good in my head, humming. It's all interconnected. And when you look at it like, okay, this is an energetic, kind of like an energetic field, and it's all interconnected like this. So you start seeing these synchronicities, and you start seeing how well provided for you are. It's like everything you need is being handed to you. Oh, and Akasha says, and apparently good for the pineal gland and vagus nerve. Yes, humming. Yes. And it's so easy. You don't need a timer. You don't need a meditation app. You could be in the shower. The shower is my favorite place. I started singing to myself too. Singing little tunes that just come out like, words come out like, why am I so happy? Why am I so clear? Why am I so calm? And, just put like a tune to that. Why am I so happy? Why am I so clear? You just for yourself, for yourself, right? And here's the thing about asking why. I love this. This is so fun. The universe is set up to answer questions. That's what it does, right? So it's like you're not asking it to solve anything now. You're not asking it to solve anything. You're like, at why is that the fact? You're asking why is that the fact? So then it just shows you over and over again. And you can, I was doing it while I was body brushing too, taking a body brush and doing the whole thing and singing, you know. It's like that's what experience is for, just enjoying yourself. Just really enjoying yourself, right? Right. It's like the world shows us that we can't enjoy ourselves until something, making problems. And then our mind is programmed to want to solve problems. So, when I say the universe, is it really, it's your mind. It's funny, the universe is your mind. Universe and mind, same. But sometimes when universe is used to talk about how manifestation works, the universe is taken to be outside of yourself, like something that gives to you from outside of you. But that's the thing. And that's why it works to ask why? Why do I have everything I want? It's all perception. So the universe shows you, or your mind shows you, you could say, this is why. And the effects are the effects. See, this is why. The peace of God is where it starts, just being at peace, right? But how does anyone do that? How does anyone hear that? Maybe you sit down to meditate and your mind races. Maybe you sit down to meditate and your mind quiets, and then right afterwards it races again. When I recognize a racing mind, and when I sat down to meditate and I recognize a racing mind, I just don't try to force it. There's nothing wrong with a racing mind. The meditation is in the background of all mind, right? That teaches your mind. See, just by your viewing it that way, that teaches your mind that that is the truth. Not only are you not threatened by anything in the world, but you're also not threatened by a racing mind. Hmm. You're not in that racing mind. Remember the illusions in the world, one of it, which is racing mind, is propped up to get you to believe that there is a problem. And so many people just keep this within themselves. This problem, that they're a problem because they didn't do it right, or they didn't do a list of things, or they did the things and they didn't get the results that they wanted. Abundance is now. Abundance is now. That's why I always find myself perfectly cared for. The old programs sometimes come back just to say, "Hi, have you forgotten about me?" I'm like, "No, that's still meaningless." Right? Look at it more like a comedy. It's a comedy show. You're the truth, you're the light, you're the one son of God. And then there's this separated mind trying to convince you that you're not that. That's all. When it comes to like my ability to meditate very deeply and all stuff like that, yeah, from time to time that goes in and out. Does it appeal to me? That's the question. Does it appeal to me right now? Is it appealing? When I sit down for meditation, do I feel like this is congruent with my energy right now? See, it just comes to that. And in meditation, it's got a certain pull to it that I like to just watch and let it arise and not make any strict ideas of how much I should be in meditation. When it comes to A Course in Miracles, the way that's taught, there are some that's a practice, so it's different. I've done the practice many times, that's a practice, so it's different, but it's not all the way. It's still in the same vein. I learned this from practicing A Course in Miracles. I learned how to be gentle with myself. So when you're going through A Course in Miracles and taking the lessons, there are certain lessons that prescribe that you basically meditate. And they have longer, and it has longer periods in there to meditate. But it's really clear, especially toward the beginning, don't force it because that's counterproductive. It gets you all caught up in the ego. Even if you do make your meditation, there's an idea that you have been good for doing that, and still an idea that you would be bad if you didn't do it. It's kind of like subtle. So, more important than whether you meet your meditation quota is if you would see everything that arises, meditation or lack of it, as equal. Make all things equal. So, in A Course in Miracles, toward the end, and maybe at the very end, I'm not sure, and maybe in the text, who knows? I just like internalize these things apparently. Um, so A Course in Miracles talks about when you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed at night, let yourself get sense, that sense in your body that you're whole, that you're one. It doesn't matter how long that takes. You get used to going through your day remembering how it feels to be in the embrace of God, right? You just let yourself feel yourself in the embrace of God, and then you go about your day. And then at the end of the day, do the same thing. And then you go about your dream state like that. So it's like over time, this just gets more and more natural for you. Now, it's not saying not to meditate or to meditate. It's saying this and then listen for everything, every move will be given you. Just touch in with the spirit, know that you're being guided, and everything else is given you. And you guys, that's just the way I go about it. And I don't budge off of that. I don't change my mind about it. And don't, as in don't budge. It's like I'm not gonna believe that there's something else besides the peace of God. And certainly nothing in the world is gonna give that to me. Relationships was definitely one of those things that have been shown to me. I do not need like romantic relationship kind of thing. I do not need something like that. Yes, they're fun. I'm open to it and it's playful. Uh, but it's not ever going to be satisfying. It is just not what it's been sold as. It's not that. It's not for that. It's for awakening our mind. It's not for getting and keeping. It's not for the image. It's really it's not for getting our needs met either. That's the other thing. That's such a common thing. It's like we naturally, and people have gone really far with this, taking it to, okay, we're just going to communicate this in the way that it feels. You are not meeting my needs. So it's like, I have needs that you're not meeting. We don't need people to meet our needs because our needs are met now. See, looking to people to meet our needs are looking to the future to do that. But right now, our needs are completely met. See, when you relate from that perspective, everyone's just free. You're not stuck with people, right? The only time you're going to be like, okay, my needs for this are not being met by you. It's like you feel like you got to like stick with them. It's like just observe. Just observe. And instead of my needs aren't being met, it's more like this is what I like. Right? This is what I like. Do you want to play this with me? Kind of like let's say you have a sexual partner, right? And you really like oral sex. I've had this happen. That's why it's a personal story. You really like oral sex and they're not doing it. And I'm like, "Hey, I really like that." And they're like, "Oh, you really like that, huh? Okay. I really want to do it some more." Okay, cool. But I don't know, I don't need it. I don't ever need anyone to do anything for me. It's not like you're lacking or you're failing. Like, what if the person doesn't like to do that? Maybe they come back and go, "Oh, that's like the worst thing for me. I really don't like that." It's like, "Oh, okay." And then I might not be interested in them anymore, and that's okay. So simple. Here's the other thing. We not only can all have everything that we want, but even everything that we think we want. There's the thing. This is funny because there's nothing here that can satisfy us, but everything we think we want, it is already done. It's actually already done. All we're doing is removing the blocks to it. It is. Our mind is powerful like that. Whatever we have thought of, like anything we think we need or want or desire, anything like that, we already thought of it. It already is. In the illusory world, it already is. This illusory world is built on a shitload of layers. If you were going to make a image of Earth, you could say, and the layers, it would just look like a lot of layers. Wouldn't have a shape, a lot of layers of thought. You might just to visualize it if you like it round. And the reason I said didn't have a shape because you guys see it differently. If you like to see it round, then look at it as round with a lot of layers. If you like to see it flat, look at it as flat with a lot of layers. Those are timelines. They're timelines. So you could say in your highest timeline, it is like this. I've been describing it like this for years. It's like in your highest timeline, let's say there's all these layers, you have everything that you think you want. You do. But it's believing that you don't that's keeping you on, you could say, different timelines where you don't have the thing you think you want. Now, when you know that you only want the peace of God, you get to experience the peace of God. And from there, your desiring is pure. Because it's knowing it's already done. It's not worrying about it. It's not going out trying to get it. It's not going, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's actually a knowing that it is already done. You don't even mind that you don't seem to see it because you just know that it's already done. And to some people, they might go, what? How is that the same as getting the thing? And I'm like, okay, not only is it better than getting the thing, literally better than getting the thing. Because the even the getting the thing that you think you want, you think you're going to get a particular feeling, a peaceful feeling that you could have right now. Not only is that available right now, but it also allows you to transcend these timelines that I'm illustrating here, okay? These timelines, it's like they're all on vibrational they're on vibrational frequencies. And you are kind of shifting between these vibrational frequencies depending on what guide you're listening to. So none of this stuff is really linear. We talked about things not being linear, I think 2 weeks ago. None of these things are really linear. So it's just all you have to deal with is the thought that's saying you can't have what you want. And all that is a meaningless thought. Desire. Akasha says desire. I like this. So D means from, and sire is the father. That's the makeup of desire. I love it. From the father. Yeah. And the desires themselves, they get tasted, you could say, in the moment, which is really what you want with them. You want to taste something. It's an experience. Even if you're talking about, special clothes or um, a trip or anything, it's kind of like the experience, kind of like a taste. You want to taste something. That's how I feel it. And I allow myself to taste that, what I feel like I want to taste. It's a certain feeling of completion because the ego is going, I'll have completion when I get that thing. I'll have completion when I get, let's say, a partner. I noticed that kind of energy arising with me, and I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I could believe that it was arising, but I couldn't believe in those thoughts. That's what I mean. Could not believe in those thoughts. They didn't make any sense to me. And yet, I noticed the pull in my body's energy field. I noticed a sense of, I want it. Where is it? Where is he? Where is that? And I couldn't believe it, is what I'm saying. So I didn't like try to go, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Right? Even in dating, it's just like so playful, so sweet and playful, which I'm not really doing that anymore. I don't think. We'll see. I'm off of the app. But, you know, you cannot like bring someone into your life by action anyway. So whether I go on a dating app or just stay right here in my house, I cannot bring a relationship in. That's not and calling it in and all that kind of stuff that makes no sense to me. The right relationships, however short or long they are, that's all relating is relationship to me. Both of those two dudes told you apparent stories about them. One in Minnesota, one coming over, right? Both of those two dudes. I just enjoyed the relating with them. I thought it was really sweet. It doesn't have to turn into anything. That's the deepening. That's where the deepening is really I see taking place. It's like, oh, just really feeling into just being at home without another body around. And it's about to shift. I've actually been without another body around. Let's see, what has it been? Uh Months. February, March, April. 2 months. And that's like I'm saying, that's the longest I've gone. I have had a couple hugs from Natalie when she's come. I've probably seen her 3, 4 times. Um, but that's the longest, like most sparse time that I can even remember or for hugs. And now Wednesday, Billy's coming back and he'll hug me all day long. He loves it. He loves hugs. Billy's coming back, so everything's changing. By the time come on, well, yeah, next Wisdom Dialogues. By the time I come on next Wisdom Dialogues, Billy will be here with me. Everything will be different. I'm living by myself, and everything on the surface is about ready to change. I just like enjoy whatever I seem to be in because things are always in flux. And let them be in flux. Just let them. And I've heard from some of you who are on here right now too, about things don't change for you. They're not changing, and you wish they would. You wish they would change. Okay, so what I'm sharing with you is truly all that needs to change is the thinking and even the wishing they would change. Another one to illustrate this is the video games on my phone. I've talked with you guys about this for many years. There's some kind of programming that says that that's bad to do. And there's some apparent effects that seem like my hands seem to feel a little bit weird when I play video games for, I don't know, longer than 15 minutes, let's say. Um, So, a couple weeks ago, I was going, man, I started to notice I didn't like how my hands were feeling while I was playing video games. I tried to set it up some way. It's on my phone. I'm just playing little matching games. Got blackjack going. I like that one. Blackjack and matching games. And I felt like, wow, I just want to stop playing video games on my phone because I don't like the effects of the video games on my phone. So, I like to experiment. So I go, okay, well, let's see. Maybe I'll just see if I don't play. I know I don't have a choice in it, but I'm going, okay, noticing I don't like those effects. So then I find myself deleting the apps. I'm off the video games. I don't know how long, maybe days, maybe a week, not too long, maybe hours. No, not hours. But I end up reinstalling them and I go, okay, I just want to witness what is going on here as far as there's a draw to this. I'm not doing these things. This is my mind. Okay, there's a draw to this, and also there's a thought that it's doing something to me, my body, or something. And so I want to observe this. And so I just like noticed, oh, that's the thought that takes the fun out of playing the video game right there, that it's doing something to me. So I went back to it and I saw it and I go, oh, that's that's it. And it's funny. It's like how these things will roll around and roll around and roll around. It's like over and over again, repeating, and then you just keep on going deeper. You go back to, oh, there's no video game affecting anything. I'm just here for the fun. I'm not, I don't need to think about anything else. I don't think you need to think about anything else about it. Just pay attention to how it feels. That's really where the fun is. You know, once I get a sense I'm not enjoying the whatever it is on my hands, I don't need to keep on doing it. And the ironic thing about this is if I tell myself that this is bad for me, but I still have to do it, but I'm still doing it. I'm addicted. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this and that. Then I find myself not enjoying much more. See? But if I allow it to manifest and just look at it, where does the joy turn into something else? And that's always with a thought. The thought that in this case that was saying that this is doing something to me, right? And how is that? Here's the question that arises. How is that not tempting the ego? Because it's recognizing that you don't have a choice in what is coming in the perception. This is the past playing out. Okay. So in the past, there was a thought that intrigued me that said, this video game can do something to you. So because of that intriguing thought, things manifest. Once that thought isn't intriguing anymore, then things don't need to manifest off of it. That's how we get into these struggles where we find, we get this sense like, oh, I'm addicted. And once you say that, you limit yourself completely. You're not, it's not even possible for you to get addicted to anything. That's not a thing. You find yourself repeating patterns that seem to be harmful for you because you believe the harm to be true. That's the only reason you would perceive that. And you know, you can also make the stance, take a stance and go, I am not going to allow myself to do that. And you may perceive yourself following through on it. That also is choiceless. A lot of people say, I am not going to do that anymore. And then they just do it again. That's because it's a program playing. So instead of getting better at, I am not going to do this and sticking to your guns, this is an invitation to have fun, to recognize none of this stuff means anything. Have fun with it. Taking things seriously, forgetting to laugh. Oh, it happened so fast. So funny. And then you can laugh at that and you just laugh again and again and again and things get lighter. So now when I play video games, and now it's so funny too, what occurred to me recently. It's like, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with the video games. It was like, it was like, that was just something that it was put on. I'm getting the sense that this whole thing is buzzing and unwinding. That's whole this whole form seems to be buzzing and unwinding, and a lot of that seems to be going on in the wrists. This moving and changing, and a lot of that seems to be going on in the wrist. And then so then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's like it's just like mist. Everything's like mist. It's like a vapor. Oh, here's a problem over here. Oh, here's a problem over here. Oh, here's a problem over here. It's like a vapor. Nothing's happening. Like, oh, I wish I would get off my phone or something. It's like, no, you know what? You get off your phone when that energy's played out. It doesn't matter what you are doing. How does it feel? You know what? You're registering all the time through sensation. You're registering all the time. But what's going on when your mind's interpreting that things should be a certain way, it's like you say, just ignore that one. I'm going to ignore my joy on that one and take this serious thought instead. Take this path instead. So the joy path that I'm talking about, sinking into your joy right now, accepting the peace of God in the moment, is where you're continually unwinding. And I'm also feeling the effects of that. The continual unwinding is definitely manifesting, keeping on with jaw releases, things. This whole body seems to be in remodeling. It seems to be in remodeling. It's just like completely moving all the time. Neck, I feel my bones in my head moving, even fingers, ankles, everything's moving, apparently. So, trying to detect any cause at all just puts physicality at the place of cause. It's like puts physicality on the level of cause, which is not cause, it is effect. God is the only fact. That's what we were studying just recently on A Course in Miracles deep dive, that God is the only fact. God is fact. And because of that, nothing else makes sense. If God is fact and God is the only cause, then all of these effects that I'm perceiving about the world, including my body, which was not created by God, is not a fact. It has no cause of its own. It is an effect of a split mind. And that split mind is a problem making mind. It makes problems and then solves them. That's what it does. So it's like we stop giving it a problem. All of my problems have already been solved. Now, why is everything so glorious for me? Answer me that. Durga says, what a beautiful application of ACIM. The spiritual reality show helps me undo beliefs. Yes, and no one's looking at us but us. You know, I had one man just projecting so much vile stuff on me, maybe like, I don't know, a half hour before I came on here. And it's like, this is my show. I'm just going to love on him. And I just thanked him. I was like, thank you for showing me where you're at. Apparently we can't communicate. We're on two different thought systems. You're trying to convince me that darkness is real and that you see it in me, and I don't operate like that. Okay. Once again, your transparency about everyday thoughts are greatly inspiring. What keeps you steady? Okay, that is a really good question. You know, of course it's wanting the peace of God more than anything else. That's that's one thing. It's like just wanting the peace of God more than anything else. Another one. And what I was meaning to share with you a little bit earlier when I went into the meditation thing, is about how, like, I'm not some like high spiritual guru kind of fucking person. Okay, I'm not that. I'm just a regular ass broad who loves the peace of God. That's all. So you don't have to like aspire to anything. Here's where I'm perceiving that I'm better at it. Maybe is a good way to put. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to share with you. I am ridiculously forgiving to the point where I don't remember what fucking just happened. I am ridiculously forgiving to the point where I could witness all kind of patterns and know that there is no shame in any of that, myself or them. See, it has to go both ways like that. I feel for the man who was trying to project that the darkness that he was perceiving was actually in me. I feel for him because I know what that feels like. That is telling your mind that the darkness is in you. So even if in that moment you think you're right and you see the darkness in that other person, later on that's coming back to haunt you, right? I don't want any of that. I don't want to have to trudge through, is that even a word? I don't know. A bunch of BS. I just want the peace of God right now. I just want the peace of God right now. It doesn't come from anyone else. It doesn't come from anyone giving me anything. It doesn't come from the world. It doesn't come from anyone seeing me in a better light, right? So I guess I could say what keeps me steady is certainty in one word. Now that I said all that stuff, it's certainty. And that's the thing. Certainty is not something that you learn, it's something that you choose. See, one time earlier on, many years ago, I got a sense that all I got to do is choose it. And it's like, that's it. All I have to do is choose it in the moment. I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait for someone else to see me better. I don't have to wait for anyone else to be sweet to me, right? Certainty is a choice I make right now. That's what clicked for me. I've talked to many different friends and hey, are you certain about who you are? No one says yes. Not yet. Are you certain? 100% of the time, are you certain about who you are? No one says yes. I say yes to that. Yes, I am. It's my mind, it's my all powerful mind. I'm the only one who can be certain. No one else can be certain for me. I'm not waiting for some spiritual leader to come around and go, oh, yeah, you're validated. No, I know what I am and I know what my function is. Right? My function is to deny meaningless to anything that's meaningless. And in doing that, it may ruffle some feathers. And that's okay. That's okay. Jesus is a really good example of someone ruffling feathers. That can occur. It's all right. It's all right if people don't like you. There certainly is a choice. Yes. Then certainty is a choice. Yes, certainty is a choice. What I'm telling you, and if you receive this transmission right now, you're just gonna know. There's nothing you need to do to get to certainty. Certainty is a choice right now. Okay, here's how it plays out in some different ways. After having a conversation with the person who was projecting darkness as if he sees it and it's actually in me, there was a sense of, what was that for? And it's like, what? What do you mean, what was that for? It's all for the same thing. That's the certainty. See that? No question. No question. Did I say it right? Was I loving enough? Because this is a moment to moment thing, this certainty. In this certainty, my highest desire is to be truly helpful. It's the only reason for any interaction with anyone. They may read something else into it because they're perceiving from a different mind. They may read into it that I want their validation or something like that, that they're perceiving from a different mind. So when we're expressing from certainty, it's kind of like a light. It just shines away all illusions from our path, irrespective of whether anyone else agrees with it. I express certainty, and this is a really good way that I demonstrated it to my mind. I express certainty living with a family who thought I was full of shit. That was at least my perception of it. One of my sons would be very vocal about it. Actually, both of my sons were. My daughter Akea was the one that was like, you fucking changed. You've got something. You know what's going on. You see something. But I didn't live with her that much. For the most part, it was with the three boys, my husband and my two boys, who did not agree that I'm the Son of God. But I demonstrated to myself certainty through relating with them, through our relating. See, that's how I demonstrated it to myself. And by the time I left my husband about a year and a half ago, my husband saw all of a sudden, all at once, he's like, I see the way you've changed. I want to know what this is. It's certainty. And yes, it's something you choose. And really, the whole A Course in Miracles, A Course of Love, it's all to get you to choose that certainty of who you are and that certainty of what your function is right now, extending the love of God, and the certainty that you want peace, right? I can see peace instead of this. You can. It's all a blessing. And, in relating with someone who's projecting, I felt my energy lively, kind of lively, like, oh, this is so fun, just to be able to express myself. I don't get that much opportunity to express myself where someone is seeming irate. It's kind of rare. But but just to express how I feel. I love you. I love you. It doesn't matter uh, whatever you want to hold about me. I just love you. You know, that feels really good to me. I love to connect like that. And if it connects where the other person is like, "Oh my goodness, I feel your heart." That's wonderful too. If the if it connects with the other person like you're just being deceitful, you're trying to be holier than thou, that's good too. It's all helpful. All of it just keeps on spinning around and spinning around so we could see the truth. It all shows us, the whole world just reflects back to us what the world wants us to know, that we're not the Son of God. That's what the ego wants us to know. So not losing our identity in the moment, basically. I flash back to a moment when my son, who's now 20, how old is that little fucker? 24? I think he's 24. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, you know, he's come in with long scoldings of me that have lasted 45 minutes, stuff like that. And I sat in my certainty and let him and feel with him and still and feel it from the place of certainty. And that stuff unwinds. It just unwinds itself. I just knew with certainty that our relationship was whole. And so it just kept on manifesting like that more and more and more. I mean, it went through one time where he was pissed at me because I was having sex with a dude who wasn't his dad and not talking to me. But that seemed to even just bring us closer. We're closer than we've ever been right now, apparently. Not that that even matters one iota because we're totally in communication all of the time. We're all in communication all of the time. As long as I'm aware of him in my mind, I'm communicating from a loving place. If I'm projecting him out in my world, I'm not communicating from a loving place, whether we seem to be close or not. That's what closeness really is. It's closeness in mind. Our minds are not separate. You know, when A Course in Miracles talks about how we have no private thoughts, some people misinterpret that and think they should start airing all their dirty laundry about people to them. But no, that's not what it's saying. It's like we are not alone in experiencing the effects of our thoughts. For one, the effect of our thought on our own nervous system, the effect of our thought on the collective nervous system, and then that affects how we see things. And we're not alone in experiencing the effects of our seeing either. If you're familiar with A Course in Miracles, you know I just quoted a couple of lessons there. And you can see my voice seems to be getting hoarse. I'm just going to get a little water. I'll be right back. Thank you. All right. Hold on a second. I drank all the water and came with a empty cup. Oh, yay. So I'm going to be headed back to Hawaii May 15th. I don't have my ticket yet, but probably will in a couple days. We'll see. We'll see. Um, I'm gonna have three events when I get there. I'm gonna start having three events. One on Tuesday. Tuesday is gonna be at 1:30, I believe. I'm just picking up from one that's already going and the hosts are leaving. So I'll be recording those. They're gonna be A Course in Miracles lessons where it's in a meeting format and we're having a meeting. And then I'll continue to do wisdom dialogues and ACIM deep dives, but I'm probably going to take a little break. I'll probably take a break right after I leave here. I might take a couple weeks off and just hang out at the beach and stuff like that, and then pop back up again. You know, one thing that I noticed this week too is on that app, the pattern. I told you guys about that app, the pattern. I really like that app. It's an astrology app, but the way they look at astrology is totally congruent with the way I think. And that's not trying to predict the future or anything like that. It's actually looking at the patterns that you seem to be programmed with. These symbols with the planets, we already went over about the planets. We had a great time with that. At least I did. I hope you guys had fun with that segment. But the planets are symbols we put in place to show us kind of what energies are pulling at us at any given moment, and even throughout, a lifetime, what energies are pulling at us. We could see why we are drawn toward certain tendencies. I just love that stuff. And if you do install the app called The Pattern, look me up. I'm Awesome Hope Johnson on The Pattern, and we can connect, and we can even have a bond so we see what patterns are actually drawing us into alignment in this field. It's so funny. And we could see how it plays. So one of the patterns that it just comes up with little notifications to tell you certain patterns that are in play. And one of the patterns that seems to be in play for me that was just presented today is to express ideas and to feel understood. That's one of my patterns. And that's something that is actually in the pattern. What it's saying, this is supposed to feel good to me. And apparently it does, because throughout my time sharing like this, I've had a lot of what you might call persecution. Persecution is where people are condemning you, trying to silence your voice, stuff like that, and feeling like they're righteous, they're more spiritual, stuff like that. I have gone through a lot of that kind of stuff, and I've stopped and asked, why the fuck am I doing this? Everyone's fine. They don't need me. I don't even get paid for this. Why the fuck am I doing this? Right? And I would stop from time to time, and I would just find myself doing it again. It's like these patterns, and the thing is not to resist our patterns and go, oh, I'm not gonna. It's like that shows me, it's like, oh, no wonder. That's where that's the way in which the spirit can use a vehicle. You could say a vehicle like this. The vehicle is made up of patterns. See? That's why I feel really strong. Whoa, this has to, it's almost like it's on fire. It's like this has to get out. I need to talk. There's like, it's like a sense like that. So just letting it flow. I mean, at first it seemed like I didn't want to do it. But it's kind of like what they say about going through your pain, going through your fear. It's like I did not want to do it for the feeling of being unqualified too. And that's where the certainty comes in too. It's like once I was certain, it was like, okay, once I'm certain that I'm certain, and I'm realizing it's just a choice, and I'm committed, and I'm willing, I'm devoted, I'm gonna make the choice for certainty. It's like no problem with all of that stuff. No problem with all of the, kicking and screaming from time to time, different things that seem to play out. It all is helpful for me. And it's all helpful, 100% helpful, 100% of the time. I know you heard me say that. That's the certainty. I cannot get it wrong. And you cannot get it wrong. Everything that unfolds in this field is perfect. Everything that unfolds in this field is for my benefit. I have opportunities. I get opportunities to use things for my benefit. And, I say opportunities very intentionally. I'm not talking about a challenge. That's for the ego. I'm talking about opportunities. Opportunities are more like you're in a more receptive mode just choosing what's true. So there's no challenge. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, oh yeah, this is so challenging. No. There's no thing that can challenge anything but the ego, and you're not an ego. See, that really helps with certainty too, is recognizing you're not something that can be challenged. See, people think of themselves on a path to get somewhere. I don't think of myself on a path to get somewhere. I am it. And the whole path is just to get you to the point where you're certain that it's all that you are it. But it doesn't, the path itself, going on the path itself doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. There's no amount of learning you can do. There's no amount of meditating you can do. There's no amount of anything you can do to make that choice for you. You don't have to do 1 second of any kind of spiritual practice at all. You can just realize, you know what? I just need to be certain about who I am, and I need to be certain every single moment, and I need to not let anything in the world distract me from that. And look at this. Here's another one. Let's say in one moment you're not certain. That doesn't count. Be certain now. See that? The ego likes to go on, wait a minute. Was I certain at that moment back there? Forget about it. Are you certain now? It's the only moment you can make the choice. You guys, you don't have to look like anything to anyone. No one has to revere you for being fucking enlightened. But this is it. You choose your certainty right now, and it's your choice. Everything in the world is trying to get you to not make that choice. But you are all powerful mind, and you have all the power of God behind you for making this choice. That's why A Course in Miracles is saying that his will, God's will, is for your perfect happiness. What do you think your certainty, your choice to choose certainty about who you are is going to do for happiness? How can that not be one with the will of God? So you could say that to choose certainty is to choose God. To choose certainty is to choose God's will over an alien will. See what I'm saying? You don't need one bit of anything. You already have it. And I just stay in awareness of that. It gets you know what, it gets easier and easier until it just becomes your natural way of being with everything and everyone. And people can have all kinds of opinions about you. You would use each and every one of those too as opportunities. All the opportunity is, all it is you're recognizing that the world is an illusion and God is fact, and you are God's creation. So there's nothing for you to do about anything. Get back to feeling that you are on the lap of God, or however that visual, whatever looks good for you. Some people might not want to sit on his lap. Knowing that you are totally embraced all the time by God, who does not have any shred of an idea about what you made yourself of yourself. Yeah, so a lot of my demonstrating to my mind that I can choose certainty now occurred through living around, and that's all the time too. I mean now it's like people will see just the following I have or whatever and just want to tell me what a faker I am and how I'm just concerned about my image and different things like that. And I just approach everything the exact same way. I don't think of myself as having haters either. I don't even think of that. Like having, oh, they're my hater. I don't want any haters. If they're real boisterous on my post and just making a lot of comments all over the place, I might block them. If they give me a really strong uh, uh, reflection that they don't want anything I have to share, block them. I don't want you to see anything I have to share. And then quiet. I mean, that's just online, but that's totally different scenario because of the way it's writing and stuff like that. When you have someone, it's almost like you also discover how to be online with people because it's way different than being in person. In person, it's like at least my experience so far has been people can feel my vibe. Behind a keyboard, not so much. But let's say someone isn't. I have had this happen to me. Even my husband, he at one point went off on me and told me how terrible of a woman I have been and how I've ruined his life. This was way back, like 2014, and the way it felt to receive all of that was just amazing. It was amazing. I loved it, to the point where I was not afraid of anyone getting irate with me. That I was during COVID going from business to business, and some of them were yelling at me and telling me what a terrible person I am, and some people were praying for me that God would go with me and make my mission successful. But you know, through seeing that there is only this choice, I was able to stand in fire basically with people saying, rude stuff to me and telling me I'm killing them because I'm not wearing a mask, I'm breathing free and stuff like that, and accusing me. And the feeling was incredible. I was just able to be with the experience. And when my husband saw how I was when he was like that with me, he went, I don't know what that was. I want to learn how to be calm like you. Yeah. That sentiment didn't stay, but it was there in the moment. It was really sweet. And also noticing, during COVID how things just didn't escalate. Because and when there's things escalating, it has to do with energy. So it's like you can sense their tone, and then if you match their tone, it escalates. You can kind of see it. Well, I guess from my perspective, I don't know how everyone processes it, but I can kind of see it almost like it's this energy just keeps on going up. It's almost like it's circling upward, where when I recognize someone's energy wanting to circle upward, I just take it down. It's a dynamic. So the down, what I'm talking about is down, like into calmness, into presence, like coming into the sense and being, and there to be truly helpful, right? just there to be truly helpful. And whether people reject you in the moment or anything like that, the thing is, the spirit is planting seeds. Seeds are being planted through any interaction where you go into it to be helpful, where your reason for the interaction is to be helpful. The spirit is planting seeds no matter what else you're perceiving. You don't have to evaluate, oh, that went well or that went shitty, right? Because your goal is peace. Your goal is truly the peace of God. So, with the peace of God as your goal, you're going to be in that mindset that allows these gifts to come through you, even if you can't see them. It's really lovely. It's a lovely space to communicate from, because then there's no pressure, right? And I can see right away when someone's trying to put pressure on me. They can't really put pressure on me, but they can try. And in that trying, if I don't recognize what's going on, I could be pressured or not, yeah, or feel like resistance to them. Like, don't pressure me like that. You know what I mean? Don't pressure me like that. No, it just ends up you're recognizing that there's pressure and you don't have to go along with it. And that's how it was when I was in that conversation with the person about a half hour before I came on here. I just noticed the pressure and I was like, oh, I just don't have to go along with this pressure. It's like I don't have to perform, I don't have to explain. And so anything that I share is just because out of the joy of my heart, I love to share. Seeing that you're harmless, the world is going to try to tell you that you're causing harm. That's another thing that happens when I speak the truth. The world, I'll hear the voices or see the comments on the Facebook that I'm causing harm. And you can't cause harm, you're harmless. And the world will tell you that you're causing harm whenever you're speaking truth. I've been experiencing this for many years. Earlier on, I was told so many times that the things that I'm sharing with people are not for regular people. That's what I would be told by spiritual people. These concepts that I'm sharing, these are concepts that are for people who have gone through certain rites. These are not for regular people. Nowadays, I see the same concepts that were regarded like that 10 years ago. I see them all over the internet. It's like I expressed that thought that seemed to get me a lot of persecution and stuff like that, and then it ended up becoming a lot more mainstream. That's what's happening with all of these thoughts. You know, the ones, especially the ones where people are like, uh, you're screwed up, or they're painting a different, the most common thing this week on one of my posts. I don't usually get too many that coming out of me that are like this, but the most common theme that people were doing that was pissing them off was their own interpretation. They didn't read it. One woman got all the way to the end and had her own interpretation all the way through. And I can see what that is right away. That's just a defense mechanism. The ego is afraid this of this being seen. This dynamic where women need men and men feel burdened. And then men have expectations of women because they feel burdened. Ah, can you just feel into when that collapse? And it may not be too long from now, because when I start talking about things, they start becoming mainstream. It's amazing. And you know what? I love that I don't get credit for it. I love that. I am not one bit in a complaining way about it at all. I am so stoked to be able to just like walk around and for the most part, no one knows who the fuck I am. That's great. Many years ago, it occurred to me that my audience may be small, but they will be the ones who can handle it. They're going to be the ones who can handle what I'm talking about. And not only that, it doesn't matter. It's like I told Chitta's on here too. Hello, hi Chitta. I told Chitta and Bob Shine many years ago, if there's just one of you that wants me to come talk, I'm gonna come talk to you, right? You could, that's my pattern apparently. That's what feels, what was the word for it? Fulfilling for me or something like that, something to that effect. To express deep and deep ideas and to be understood. That's the pattern. So when you're allowing me to express these ideas and opening to, uh, you could say understanding. I don't know if that's the word because it's got kind of weird word for me. But and if you open to it and you're willing to see it too, which you guys are on here, I see that it extends and extends and extends, you guys. Just this little group right here, this sweet little group. What do we have here? Eight, nine people, including me on this little group on the live. There's a lot more who watch and listen, but just here on the live and including all of you watching and listening too, just notice your mind opening up to something like this, the ripple effects that this has. It is amazing. It is amazing. It's like just this little hub right here. It's like this is enough. In fact, one mind is enough to change everything because we are created in God's image. And this world is an abomination. It's only propping itself up to convince us that we are not God's creation. That way, we don't choose certainty and we never leave illusions. Okay, that's the ego's plan for us. So let's be certain. Will you choose certainty? You could just if you make if you, let's say you make a decision right now, you make a choice right now, I'm going to choose certainty whenever I feel like I've lost my way. I'm just going to choose certainty. And you know what? Just making that, just making that choice right now, you're going to get help in that direction. Whichever direction you want to go, you're gonna get help. So if you're saying, I want to see my certainty, I'm going to choose certainty whenever I seem to lose touch with the peace of God, you're going to get all kinds of help in that. And you're going to be successful. You are actually guaranteed to be successful. It's just a matter of when will you make that choice? Right? When will you make that choice? You do not need anything else to make it but your own decision. So, yay. I love you. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. I really appreciate you. Yay. Now, thank you, Christine. I love you. I'll see you soon. I'm going to be in your neighborhood, I think, if you're still there. Yay. All right. I love you guys. Go to hopejohnson.org. Please donate if you can. Like I said, I live entirely off of donations, apparently. And let's see, what else? Oh, I want to fly to Hawaii. So if you guys could help me out with that, I would really appreciate it. And yay, sharing is caring. Oh, Glenn, I love you. Glenn, you're on here. I didn't hear you talk until now. How fun. All right. Aloha, everyone. Mahalo. Come back on Wednesday when I do an ACIM deep dive. Ahui ho.